Up and welcome to Liverpool 12th Man Show. Oh, get my camera here all set up. It's not on my right one, but it's all good. How's everyone doing out there today? I know it is pre-League Cup matchup or Carabao Cup, however you want to disclaim it. And it should be something of an interest to us because it is the cup that we covet the most in domestic cups, at least. Obviously, you can always say that we have a lot more league titles than that, but certainly the domestic cups outside of that is something that we definitely hold dear to ourselves, and it is something that we're going to be partaking in. So, big up to Nems. Big up. How are you doing, my brother? Good to see you, my red. Also, I did pass on my best wishes for Lee Wiskid. I hope that you are going to, I saw that you said that it's just a measure of a couple colds, but still all the same. I hope I hope that it is something that you get over very, very quickly. Anyhow, I just remembered also that I'm wearing the green kit, which is not our lucky kit, by the way, as of just yet. It's probably my favorite kit, to be honest with you, from the three that we've gotten out so far. I've gotten my orders in for my jerseys this year, and and unfortunately, this kit is not exactly having the luck that I would have hoped for. It is definitely a beautiful kit. I think I like it because it has the original Adidas logo on it, but all the same, it has not been lucky for us. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Nem says that he loves the home kit. Okay, I got you on that. I got you. I think that Adidas did a great job with the kits this year. I'm not taking away from any of the three. I just happen to like the green one the most. I even made sure to get it in long sleeve, so that's how much I like it. So I can wear it out sometimes, especially now that it's starting to get a little chilly here in my neck of the woods. But all the same, big up Red Armchair Supporter. Big up, and welcome back, Reds family. This is the Liverpool 12th Man Show, and I'll be honest, tonight is not going to be completely casual, because tonight is not all about just the vibes, or tonight is not what. Hey, we'll see what happens tomorrow. This is a preview of a win or go home match tomorrow at Anfield. Liverpool are facing Crystal Palace again, third time already this season. It's going to be the Community Shield in August. We played them. We played them in Selhurst Park in the league already as well. And now we have two matchups, obviously league matchup and this Carabao Cup matchup, with them at Anfield. And it's nothing like the lights at Anfield. It's the Carabao Cup fourth round. Obviously, the kickoff is going to be at 7:45 p.m., just in case people were wondering. Knockout football means no hiding. And listen, this is a moment where the mood around the club is twitchy, to say the least. Shout out Dustin. Shout out Justin. Hope that you're well, Dustin. Hope that you're definitely well. So yeah, I mean, we've had a turbulent October. We've been bruised. We've been vocal, I guess you could say. Some supporters out there overly vocal. We're pointing fingers. The little defense our title defense has not been as clean and easy as a lot of us wanted it to be. The fan abuse, fan abuse is getting ugly at times, and that's something we got to stop. But the fan base is arguing with itself. But there's something I wanted to note. A cup night can flip the energy on a season. It can flip the energy on a season when you start to progress in a domestic cup run. So here's what I'll have to check out the Lawrence McKenna video, by the way, Nems. I do watch a lot of his content. Not Lauren. I know you mean Lawrence, but Lawrence McKenna. I'll have to check that out. I know that he's had sometimes I go a little toe for toe with him in the sense of he makes his videos and you'll see my comments and you'll see my little editorials basically, which is what they kind of are in the comment sections, because I'll leave a couple paragraphs maybe or something along those lines to deal with some of the comments and statements and takes that he has. Get this over here. Sorry about that. Get this light a little bit better suited. And yeah, it's something that I'll definitely check out. But hopefully he can start checking out my videos a little bit more so, because sometimes some of his takes are on point, and sometimes I think some of his takes are kind of like a little bit off point, and I'm sure he'll say the same about mine. So yeah, so big up, Lawrence. He's definitely one of the bigger names, certainly more notable names out there that represent the Liverpool Reds, and that's why I do enjoy watching his content. But like I said, what we're going to do tonight, we're going to walk through where this squad actually is going into this Palace matchup. Who's fit, who's not, who absolutely has to stay up or step up. We're going to talk about Freddie Woodman potentially making his Liverpool debut in a real competitive match, not some preseason, fluff piece. We're going to talk about Palace. Shout out to Nems, definitely. It's good. I like that a lot. Put that in there for you. I got you. Big up. Big up High Lore, by the way. Big up High Lore. But we're going to talk about Palace, because say what you want, they've already made us, bleed twice this season. And I've got a message for people who think that the Carabao Cup doesn't matter. Spoiler alert. It's not going to be pretty, and it's not going to hold any punches. But we've got squad news, prediction talk, rival walk, a little walk down rivalry lane, in the sense of we're going to talk about something that just a player that is out for one of our rivals that's going to make a big splash in the news. And I've got a little trivia section if I do have a panel. If I don't, then it's just I'll just play trivia. I'll play Quizmaster for the chat, and the kind of details that remind you what the badge we're talking about here means. So hit the like, drop up the Reds maybe in the comment section or something like that. You'll never walk alone. Whatever you like, whatever you want to comment on the video after such, and let me know you're here, and let's work this out together about what we have to do with this game. All right. So now I'm going to talk about this match build-up because we're going to be meeting the Eagles once again. So let's lay out the reality of it all, because this is now chapter 3 of the Liverpool book. Big up John Conway, by the way. Big up. And let's lay out the reality. Arne Slot goes into this match with legit selection problems. Alisson Becker is out. Jeremy Frimpong is out. We all know that Giovanni Leone is going to be out for the entire year. So that means that's our number one keeper. That's potentially one of our starting right backs, and one of our young defensive options all out for center half at least. Ryan Gravenberch didn't play in the Brentford game. Alexander Isak didn't play either. Curtis Jones did start against Brentford, but had it come off in the second half because of a possible groin concern. And Slot said he asked to be, when it comes to Curtis Jones, he said he asked to be taken off, but he walked off instead of needing a lot of treatment. That's promising. That's hopefully promising, because I will say this to the Curtis Jones haters, and I'm looking at you, Montz, and the crew that you had on your show last night or yesterday. With Kojo, I believe his name is, the comedian who needs to probably stick to comedy. Curtis Jones has been one of our best players this year. Curtis Jones has been one of our best players this year. And the kind of slander and the kind of just, I don't even understand why people are going to drop banter against your own players. But the kind of banter that was going on, or kind of like disrespect that was going Curtis Jones' way in Montz's in Montz's video with his panel, it's the reason why, man. Like, you have 4 or 5 people on your panel, and all 4 to 5 of them are all like echoes of the same voice and vocal point. Hopefully one day you'll have me to at least be on there to kind of push back against some of the negativity that's dropped consistently on your channel. But anyways, I still subscribe, and I still advise others to do so. Let me say this. It's going to be a gray area if Curtis is going to be able to start this match or not. I hope that he is, but if he isn't, then I don't know if we want to maybe risk him or not. And meanwhile, you have Hugo Ekitike, who he did receive a red card in the League Cup. However, he served out suspension in the league. So that means that red card against Southampton in the previous round that got him banned has been served. So that's cool, because that means by sitting out in the league, it means he'll be clear for selection tomorrow night in the Cup. And I would like to pause on that, because I do want to focus on the fact that we need a forward who runs at people with no fear, who presses from the front line, like we remember, with rest in peace Jota, or the kind of forward we had in Nunez with the consistent energy and commitment. Obviously the commitment of Bobby is legendary, and that's the kind of commitment that we need up front. We've seen it at times, even with Chiesa this year, and the occasional runs he's had at the center forward for us. But Ekitike gives you chaos in a good way. We need legs, we need anger, we need someone who takes it personally in the box, and that's what I'm hoping we will see tomorrow. Even if it does mean Isak starts instead of him, I still would like to see that from Isak as well. So we'll see. Now, I do want to give Arne Slot, who I've been very critical of, and I know a lot of people have gone a little bit over top with some of the criticism that they have of Arne Slot, but I'll give him a little credit here. He said talking about Crystal Palace, they didn't go away. They're disciplined, and even when we equalized against them, they stayed alive till the final whistle and hit us late. This is the warning label, I think, for those of us in the fan base, but I think it's more of a warning label to our team. Do not take Crystal Palace lightly. This is Arne Slot telling the dressing room, do not think this is routine. I don't care even if we're going to have some notable, we're going to go through the lineup a little bit later. There's going to be notable changes in the lineup. There's going to be some notable players that are going to have opportunities, or be their fringe players or their youth players. It's going to be opportunities for all these players, but however, do not take this game lightly. Because I believe Arne Slot is right. Palace are not a team you just beat because we're Liverpool. They're a team where if you switch off for one moment, first half, last minute, first minute, whatever, they will punish you. And we've literally watched it happen this season. So it's something I definitely want to make sure that we get involved quickly in this game, and we don't have any bits of, lapses, basically, and the likes. I'm going to get into these lineups here, and I'm going to bring up. I'll bring up the lineup creator here for us, lineup builder. It's going to be interesting. I'll ask the chat too, real quick. I personally would like to see us go with a 4-4-2. I've been pushing for it. I've been pushing for the 4-4-2 diamond more so than anything, but I'll take a 4-4-2 whichever way we can produce it. If it means getting two strikers up front, and it means having Isak and Ekatike up front. Now, I know that Isak is still recuperating and might not be available for this matchup, or might not be risked in this matchup. I know that we could play the previously mentioned Chiesa in that role, which I don't think is a bad choice, to be honest with you. I think Chiesa will provide that persistent, following of the ball, like trying to following the ball, trying to create the pressure that we need. I think that's going to be uniquely such. However, I do think that what will be a fantastic choice is to just maybe evolve this 4-2-3-1 into a 4-4-2. But I'm going to ask you which works for you. What do you want to see us go into this matchup utilizing? Would you rather a 4-4-2, or would you rather a 4-2-3-1, which is our default formation, which the one that we start out in at least? Or would you rather see us go into this 4-4-2? Because it does make our team dramatically different with how we present ourselves on the pitch, and that's most notably this situation. Let me see here. Make sure I get my formation and everything ready. Let's just talk lineup though. Talk selection maybe, because there are storylines here everywhere in this 11. Obviously, with Ali out, Marmadash really could be used, but he's being used as our first team keeper for our, obviously our league games and such. So with that said, it could be an opportunity to rest him as well, because he's now, our first choice in the league in the Europe right now. So this could be Freddie Woodman's first real opportunity to have a mark for Liverpool Football Club. He's competitive, and he is certainly at an age now. He's 28 years old now. He's at an age where this is one of those it's like make or break. There's not going to be that many more opportunities you're going to have to play for Liverpool if this isn't your chance at the moment. So this could be his competitive debut for Liverpool, and it should be something that he definitely doesn't take lightly. I'll tell you why I don't think he does take it lightly, and it's something that I was proud to see, is that Woodman said something that honestly did make me tap the badge here, and that is, he said, when I signed for this club, if I could have just got one game, that was the dream and ambition. I think majority of us would say that, considering how much a lot of us love this team, would love to have been able to possibly play for this team in some aspect of our careers, or dreams possibly. And I thought that was really humbling to hear. That was heart. That was humility. That's someone who understands the jersey. It's not guaranteed. Understands that sometimes the road that you're going to travel, I know this might be a little bit football romanticism for it, but it is a story that you can get behind. He also talked about what this competition means. He said it straight. The club takes every competition seriously. He name checked, the Carabao Cup legacy, that moment Kelleher had when he basically became folklore for us. He understands that keepers here write chapters for their careers in this cup. Now, if you flip this, Palace side, Oliver Glasner's team have already confirmed 2 starters in their defense, being Walter Benitez in goal and JD Canbot in defense. He didn't say I'm rotating for rotation's sake. That's at least their coach didn't say that. He said they deserve it. That's a pretty high recognition for those players. That tells you Palace are not tossing this tie, but playing players that openly deserve this opportunity. They're not scared of coming to Anfield. They're treating this like an opportunity to make a statement. And that's where, again, I say we can't take this game lightly. Unfortunately, my U.S. men's national team player, Chris Richards, is out with the calf issue from that Arsenal match. That's a blow for them because I think Chris Richards has been one of their more consistent defensive presences this year. He plays captain sometimes even for the U.S. men's national team over here on this side of the pond. And he literally scored in the previous round in the shootout win over Millwall. But other than that, Crystal Palace is pretty healthy. Palace came out of that 1-0 loss to Arsenal with some energy. And Glasner said they are still willing to go at it till the very last whistle. So it should be interesting. So, you can read what you want, but, we've got a keeper making his debut. Their keeper is getting a rewards start. We have their back line being a little bit shuffled with Chris Richards not being a part of it. It will be interesting to see if Mark Gahey gets to start for them or not. Whether they'll go strong exactly, or if they're going to rotate a little bit more so than like what we've seen our team do. It should be very interesting to see what they end up doing. I'm hoping that it's a little bit of the latter in the sense of I'm hoping that they do rotate a little bit to allow for us to maybe pinpoint some areas of their team to try to take advantage of, because this is going to be a fight. This is definitely going to be a fight. I'm going to wait before I give the trivia, but I'm going to tell you a little bit of something about the Woodman's comments. Now, I spoke on Woodman. I spoke about how I liked his comments. I liked about how he said, some really, really humbling comments. And I thought that was cool because you know why? There has been some devaluing of the League Cup by our fan base and especially by other rival clubs. It is very interesting how you'll hear some rivals sometimes say things like, this is the Mickey Mouse Cup or something, or or they'll say, they'll sometimes exaggerate, but also certainly try to exemplify the fact that this is the least prestigious of all the 4 competitions that we're in, they like to say. And why I think that's interesting, okay, is because the League Cup is just that. It's a domestic cup. It's a valued cup. It's a valued competition, and it should be a valued competition. When I heard Woodman say what he had to say, he said, I want this to, sit in for a second because this matters. I think to me it matters at least. You can hear it in Woodman's voice when he said, anytime I get to pull on the jersey for this club, I'll always just try to do my best and enjoy the moment. I'm not trying to do PR talk for the guy. I'm not trying to do PR talk for the club. But I like the fact that it's a professional approach to it. This is a professional who has lived in the championship. He's paid his dues there, and now understands that even one Liverpool appearance can be a career chapter in a player's life. Something he might remember 20 years from now to tell his grandchildren or something. And he said something else that was really cool. He said, it's clear this club takes this competition seriously. I wish our fan base did as much as our club does. But again, he says it's clear that this club takes this competition seriously, like it does every competition. That's culture. That's identity. That's what I'm talking about should be the underlining fabric of Liverpool Football Club and our fan base. But, some people think elsewise. Some people definitely think elsewise. But we literally got photos on the wall of AXA, of Kelleher holding that Carabao Cup, forever part of our story. That's physical on the wall, You walk by it every day seeing it, and that starts to resonate. That starts to sink into your cerebrum. It's not romantic talk. I know I'm going to be called that, and I know sometimes I do get into a little bit of football romanticism, but that's institutional memory. You walk past that every training season, and it tells you this is what we're here to do. We're here to lift things. And I don't mean, we might as well, you were trying to be antiperspirant models, because we're here to lift up our arms with trophies. People try to downplay this tournament. People call it the Energy Drink Cup, or they call it, again, the Mickey Mouse Cup, or they call it all these different little names. They laugh, but I know that what Woodman said resonates with me, and I think it resonates with some of you out there as well. He said, you can write yourself into history. That's the line that I want people to really, really remember, because that's everything for us. That's what we're asking these players to do. Every time they take on these types of competitions where it's win or go home, write yourself into history by giving everything you've got on the pitch. And this is how you build belief when the league form is shaky, which it is for us right now. This is how you give kids minutes that aren't charity minutes. They're important minutes. They're pressure minutes. This is how you give guys like Woodman and Bradley and Rio the feeling of you've helped us in our efforts to lift trophies. That matters in the dressing room. You can walk different into that dressing room, into the AXA. You can walk differently onto that pitch. You can feel different sitting on the sideline sometimes, even if you're not a part of the game in that next coming game, knowing that your contribution helped propel us forward in our aspirations. Now at this, when you get to Wembley for this competition and you hear that anthem and you lift silver in front of our end, tell me again that this cup doesn't matter. Tell me again, we've won enough. Tongue in cheek. Tell me again. Can never win enough of these trophies, man. Can never win enough. I don't care if it's a League Cup, FA Cup, obviously Champions League, titles. We want to win them all. And not only do I want to win them all, I want to continuously put silverware in that trophy cabinet. And that's what this is all about, man. Tomorrow is a big, big game. But let's flip the script here real quick, because you're probably wondering about Crystal Palace again. Because I know Palace is a team we can't overlook. They've certainly earned it by beating us in earlier competitions. Like I said, Oliver Glasner has confirmed that Chris Richards won't make this trip. He says a calf issue from the Arsenal match is going to hold him out from it. And that's big because I think Richards has, again, played very well for them this season. He's played all but 2 games for them this entire campaign for them. He's played in every last one of them, but all but 2. And it is something that is important. I mentioned about how Glasner immediately said that JD Canvot is starting in defense, which is obviously going to replace Chris Richards. Walter Benitez is going to start in goal, which is obviously an opportunity for us to take advantage of a new keeper in between the pipes. It's not a gift. They deserve it, is what Glasner is saying. But with that said, that's trust. That's sending a young defender into Anfield and basically saying, I back you. It's a powerful man management message. But then again, let's take advantage of it. Let's manipulate that. He also says something Liverpool absolutely need to hear, and that is that Palace are physically fine. They recovered well from Arsenal. They went to the final whistle at the Emirates trying to equalize, but that part is important, of course. But this is not a team that goes to show up and just sit in deep. And, we're not going to face a team that's going to sit in some probable, survival mode, park the bus. Let's hope that we hope for the best type mentality. They're going to hit us with counters. We'll probably end up controlling majority of the possession, but they are going to try to go at us with their attack. That is for sure going to happen. They believe they can go punch to punch for us. I don't know. I don't know if you believe that or not, but I mean, I agree with Monsters. Mateta was tough against us last game. I think Mateta's been tough all season, to be honest with you, for them. He is a very physical presence up front, and it's going to be something that we're going to have to contend with. Now, it's a big question as to whether we're going to I think the big question is whether we are going to start Virgil van Dijk or not. We'll get into that. I'd love to hear what you guys think of with that suggestion, whether we sit him, maybe give him a rest in this competition. I do have my version of the pitch does have a variation of what we could see and what we might not see. So we'll see about that. Also, we also have a case where, from Palace's side, this is not romance under the lights in Anfield. This is we've already beaten you twice. Let's go make a statement on national television, and knock you out of a cup that you self-entitled your cup. That's going to be difficult to take, and that's why it's going to be something that we have to focus on. All right, let's move on to focus on the Reds. And, big up. JK is in the house too, by the way. Big up.
Bless, bro. Big up, man. I like the top, bro.
Oh, yeah. Big up. Finally.
Nice.
Yeah. The store that I went to had the green top, and I was like, but they had them in the long sleeve, so I was like, wow, you don't really come across the long sleeve too often. So I was like,
you don't? Yeah. Have you got it? The long sleeve?
Yeah, long sleeve.
Have a look, bro. Yeah, the long sleeve is bud. Yeah.
So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll drop a couple ducats on this one. So
I love the green. It's just like it's a special type of green. It's beautiful.
Agreed. It hasn't been lucky. I was mentioning this earlier. It hasn't been lucky for us, though. It has not been. It has not been a lucky kit for us this year. I don't think we've won yet in this kit yet.
We haven't, bro.
But that can all maybe if I doubt we're gonna wear it tomorrow, but maybe we do.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, we're at home tomorrow, so we'll wear red.
Yeah.
Then we've got a lot of home games now. Man City away, we'll wear red. So we won't see this one for a while. Maybe it needs to learn its lesson and realize what's it doing wrong for the players not to play good in it.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't know if it was. I don't know. I don't know. I have to look. Ensman had some issues with some. He had an issue with people on the panel yesterday, but we had like four people on the panel. So I don't know who he was referencing as to who he found issue with their comments, but I don't know. I will look. I told him I would look I would look deeper into it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We're here to talk
hating on ends. Who the hell's got time for hating, man?
Yeah.
God.
All right, JK. What are your thoughts, real quick, on just Crystal Palace? Just give me your thoughts on what your outlooks on Crystal Palace. I'm about to transition into focusing on our team and what we have to look forward to, who's healthy and likes, yada yada. And then even bring up the lineup. But tell me, what are your thoughts on Crystal Palace this year? What have they impressed you, or who's an area of concern from Crystal Palace for you?
Well, 2 games, 2 defeats. You know what I mean? So I think what's his name? Mateta's awkward, and Van Dijk don't like playing against awkward players, and I don't think Van Dijk's going to play tomorrow anyway. So Mateta and the what's his name in the midfield, the wing from Watford they brought. We were interested in him as well.
Mm-hmm. So Mateta,
Mateta and what's his name from midfield? Not Salah. What's his name, man? Wait a second, bro.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about the DM that they have?
No, the guy who normally gets the goals for them and stuff. Wait a second, bro. I'll tell you now. 1 second.
For Crystal, because like SA is no longer there. I know. I wonder who you're talking about, because it's not. Oh, Sar maybe.
Sar, that's it, Sar, bro.
That was. Oh, you mean because we were interested in him before.
Yeah, Sar, bless up, red armchair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we were interested. That was back in the Klopp era when we were interested in him, when he played for who did he play for? Who was the team that knocked us off our invincible run that year? Do you know what I'm talking about, JK?
Mm-hmm.
The year that we won the title, we at that time were undefeated, and then we ended up losing on the road. Watford. That's who it was. Big up, Red Armchair supporter coming in clutch right now. Big up, Red Armchair supporter. We need you as like a channel producer or something, So you'd like you could tell me my ear or something like that. That's what's up. Yeah. He was that was that era. I don't know, but he played for that. He was on that Wharton team. I remember that. But yeah. Anyways, I don't know if you're still there or not, but I'll just get into what we're going to talk about, the Reds here. Look, Arne Slot's going to rotate. That's obvious. But rotation doesn't equal surrender. I don't think it does. If you put players in that are hungry, that are going to want to fight and do the work. And I think that we do have some players that know the circumstances, know that we're kind of, on the ropes, basically. And we're going to need some real action from these players to make a difference. So I'm going to give my choice of my belief of who I think is going to start in this game. Now, some of these players could be different on your end, but I'm definitely going to tell or bring out some players I believe are going to play in this game. All right, let me bring up this. Sorry about that. I had a sneeze. I'm going to bring up this as the roster that I think is going to be the one that we're going to see. All right. All right, so I'm going to say this. I got one more correction. So I think we're going to see this. This is my predicted 11 for tomorrow night. This is a little bit of what. This is a mixture of a little bit of what I want to see and a little bit of what I believe we will see. How about that? And because I know I'm not going to get everything I want to see. So for tomorrow, I believe we're going to have Freddie Woodman in goal. I think that the back line, let me bring this up, make it a little. The back line is going to be Connor Bradley at right back. Joe Gomez. Oops, I have Konate in there. Joe Gomez and Wataru Endo as the two center halves. I have Robbo in at left back. I know that back line might not necessarily bring a lot of people a lot of ease, and it might even bring some discomfort thinking about that back line. But that's the back line I think will be the one that he goes with. I think in the midfield, in the pivot, you'll see Trey Neone and you'll see Alexi McAllister to bring some balance to that pivot. I think that you're going to see Federico Chiesa on the right, Florian Wirtz in the 10, and Rio on the left. And leading the line, I have Hugo Ekitike. So we can all sit. I don't know how everyone sits with that. Now, what could happen? What could happen is we could see some differences in this lineup. I'm not saying that this is chiseled in stone, because first, Endo at center back next to Gomez, that's rotation and preservation, I think, more so than you possibly chancing bringing out Konate or even BVD in this competition. Obviously says that, I'll mute it for a second. Get a little feedback from your mic there, JK. But that says BVD and Konate might finally get to sit and rest for a game, which is not seen too often, and which some of us will say they possibly need. You've got Villa, we've got Real Madrid, we've got Manchester City all coming up, so it wouldn't be that bad of an idea to possibly wait for that or give them a rest for that next window to bring them back in, because you can't keep emptying Virgil's legs, with the runs that we're going to have to do in this next 4 or 5 games. It's going to be really, really rough on him. And some would even say that the Superman is looking more like Clark Kent a little bit, and that's might be tough to hear, but it certainly has been a little bit of the uncomfortable truth. But second, this is a massive, massive moment for our right back. Frimpong's out. I understand that Bradley isn't just the kid covering, because he is someone that has he actually has some real ownership on that right side. I think he should, at least. He's played well. He hasn't necessarily played great this year at right back, but he has played well. I don't think he's played horrible or anything like that. And he gives us aggression. He also gives us service. He'll give us tempo. He'll give us defense. That changes the way we can progress the ball. It also changes the way we can defend the ball. Struggle, the entire flank becomes passive. So that is certainly something that we have to do. Now, if Bradley is going to be rested, I don't even know if this guy's name is in the let me see if it's even in here. I don't know if he's even in. I know he double checks and see if I don't believe he's even in. I don't know if he's going to be in here or not. Let's see. Yes, he is. If he is, this is my surprise pick for right back if he is unavailable. My pick would be Calvin Ramsey. Now, I know that would most likely mean that you probably will have to go with a different center half grouping because that would put a lot. That's a very, very unfamiliar playing on the back line, unfamiliar back line to play with. But I honestly think that this could be the same way this is Woodman's one and done opportunities possibly of playing for the team. I think that this could be Calvin Ramsey's one real shining chance to play for this team. I know how they're saying put Endo maybe at right back. I don't think you put Endo at right back because I think that Endo doesn't produce the kinds of runs or the kinds of coverage that you're going to want for the overlaps and maybe going forward with the right back situation. I don't think he produces that for you. If you're going to have a situation where you're going to just primarily sit a player back on that back line, different story. You're going to play him more as a traditional right back and have him sit more deeper in line. That's one thing. But I don't think of it. I don't see that happening for us tomorrow. You never know. You never know.
I don't mind that team you got there. It's sound. Enough good players there to win.
It's enough good players to win a game. Yeah. To win it. I think it's enough good players to win against a relatively, they're going to, Crystal Palace is going to rotate too. They're still in Europe. They're still doing, obviously, pushing towards trying to get results in the league. And I think that this could be a viable contender for what we might see. Is there any other? There could be this. I know that someone said that Isak is injured, but I think that he's not ruled out for this game, but I believe Isak is not necessarily a leading candidate for this game or not. But I think I saw David Lynch have him starting, to be honest with you. So, and he usually gets a good handle on what he thinks is going to be, or what players are available for us. So let me double check for you. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be under the knife. I know that there's people who are saying it, but people are saying that he might have to go under the knife for his groin injury. I heard reports that it wasn't that serious, and now people are saying that he might have to go under the knife. I don't know. I'm hoping that's
was he in training today?
That's a good question. I didn't get to see inside training. Did you? I guess you did. If anyone saw inside training, tell me if they saw Isak at inside training. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah,
love to hear that. I did not get the chance to see if he was inside training.
Can't we play it here now?
Huh? No, can't play.
No.
Definitely can't play inside training. No, they'll definitely copyright me on that. I'll tell you, if Gravenberch were to start, tell me how you feel about this. All right, let's say if Gravenberch were to start, tell me how you feel about this lineup. Would you be mad at this lineup if this was the lineup that came out to start for us tomorrow?
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have to
Okay.
do,
Take a
innit?
look at, you're looking at it a little tough. Yeah.
McAllister at 10, he don't run around a lot, so
That's the reason why I'm putting him at the 10. I don't necessarily want
okay.
to over like as because of his form, because of his questionable fitness at times. I'm just saying maybe you stick him up a little bit further into our formation. Don't require him to run as much as we normally see. I'm not saying him to take on the dom role where he's just all over the pitch, but I mean like he is maybe pushed as being the facilitator for us, maybe or something like that, so he can decide to either go strong through Ekitike or maybe even facilitate our wings between, and he could be someone that could drop deep and possibly facilitate that way if we want from passing to Rio or Chiesa on our wings. I would like to see McAllister possibly get another run at 10. We haven't seen that in a long time, and since Brighton, pretty much. So
Yeah, like that attacking side of his game. Being asked to defend all the time since he's been with us, really, to get stuck in and that. And he's suffering now because he can't find sort of his fitness and stuff. So it's about time maybe playing 10, free ticket, do what you want. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, so I just said that the midfield, if we didn't go with this, I still would have possibly Neone and McAllister together as the pivot tandem. And you'd have one kid who wants to show he belongs and will run through brick wall, but do all the extra running that probably is going to be necessary. He'll probably run his socks off, and you'll have a World Cup winner in McAllister with the form and football IQ enough to recognize when he can make those runs forward and when he needs to stay at home, set the rhythm maybe for us a little bit, lead with some leadership. I think that the most notable name that's definitely going to start tomorrow is Rio. The kid is dangerous. He does not play with fear. We all know that. But I think what we're missing right now in certain phases of the game is that fearlessness that we used to get from Lucho on that left side.
Yeah.
Be aggressive. Take on that back line. Do some step overs and do show a little flair. He'll take a man on. He'll hit an early ball. He'll try a shot. He doesn't care about the badge on the other shirt. I think he's just thinking about making a real chance or real opportunity for himself for our club. I think on the other side, or I would say not other side, but other side of him will be Wirtz. You could be having floating behind Ekitike. I think I'm really looking forward to a Ekitike and Wirtz combo. I think that's going to be a dynamic combo once we figure out how to unlock it. Once he finds these little inside pockets and actually, dictates the form of play, connects midfielder to striker, basically. I think he's going to pull defenders out. He's going to open up the shape for us. He's going to open up the shape of the defenders at least, and we're talking about control instead of chaos, possibly with Florian Wirtz in that role. And then, obviously, if Isak is going to be doubtful with a groin injury, then and if you do have Gravenberch still recovering, possibly Curtis Jones maybe not worthy of risking. By the way, I think you have to go with the lineup possibly that I initially said, which is you have to bring out McAllister. We'd have to go. Oh wait, let me take McAllister out. Actually, bring Wirtz in a minute. Bring down McAllister. And maybe stick with this lineup. I think this could be the final assessment. This is the lineup that you possibly could go with. If you're trying to balance all of the injuries and the likes, I think that's the most important thing that we're talking about. It will be good to see Rio in action. I'm looking forward to it. We do need legs in the midfield. I agree with that too, Bonkers. Mac needs to find form soon. We're about 10 games in. You're absolutely right about that, Red Armchair Supporter. You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing him be able to possibly find some of that form by, doing what we need to do. Lexteen is asking, question, what's more important, Cup games, group stage, Champions League games, or the Premier League? Okay. I'm gonna save that question, Lexteen. I do have an answer for you. Absolutely have an answer for you. It's actually a whole segment of an answer for you. So I will tell you the answer that I have for that. What's your score prediction on this game, by the way? And who do you think scores first? Score prediction. Like who opens up the party? Score prediction and scorers, if you can. Do you have those, JK? Maybe not. Maybe. Well, I'll give you mine. I'm gonna go 3-1. And I'm going to go with a Rio opens up the party. I'm going to say that Ekitike gets a goal. And I am hopeful that Florian Wirtz can get a goal in this opportunity as well. Chiesa is a strong shout, I'm sure, for some. I knew Chiesa would be a strong shout for some. Ekitike and Chiesa for Red Armchair Supporter 2-1. Okay, got you. I'm leaning towards that left side of the triangle there to be my 3 scorers for us. Let's see. All right, Lexington, I like that. I'll start that for you too. Right now, why would you risk Ekitike to start on top? Because then who are you starting on top? That would mean that you have to start Chiesa as our starter at the top of the tree there. That's why I'm starting Ekitike. Chiesa is the obvious choice, Hyler is saying. Okay, I get your point. I just think that Chiesa would be better served to be a substitution for. I think it'd be a better substitution for us on the right side. I think that's all. I think it'd be a better substitution for us on the right side. Bring this back into focus here. So there is some other news outside of, and we're going to get back into a little bit more of our own, but there is some other news. I know because I have some trivia for us, but I'm going to wait till JK can come back, at least throw his hat into the ring. But before we go into trivia and before we get into answering the question of Lexteen's question, I do have some rival talk because context is context. Pep Guardiola has confirmed Erling Haaland took a knock in that loss to Aston Villa. He didn't train Tuesday. He might miss City's Carabao Cup tie at Swansea. Rodri, obviously we know, is still not ready. Pep literally said he's not going to take risks, especially with guys like Haaland or Ruben or with Vardiol, who have been logging huge minutes. Now, why does that matter to Liverpool right now? Well, it matters because we have a match coming up with Manchester City pretty soon. So it matters because why would you possibly risk Haaland in this Carabao Cup matchup with the possibility of complicating his injury even more? And that's why I'm bringing this up, because look at City's upcoming stretch. They have Bournemouth, Dortmund, and then us at home. That's what's in front of them heading into their November break. And here's why I'm saying that to our fan base. This is why you don't want to wave off a domestic cup game, because while we're over here saying, oh, it's just Palace and the Carabao, City are over here doing some load management, calculating who's going to be standing by the time they play against us. So we can rebuild form and belief now with rotation, with kids, being Rio and Trey and City are maybe hobbling a little, and Haaland's rhythm is disrupted for even a week, which is unlikely, but always a possibility. That matters. Tiny margins matter in title seasons, and I don't care if we're not at top of the table at this exact second. If you plan on being there in April, you have to pay attention to details in October and obviously the beginning of November, and it does make a difference. So it should be interesting to see. What they end up doing. JK, are you with us or are you chilling? I think JK.
Yeah, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I hear you. Okay. So you want to give us your score prediction, by the way? Who you think is going to open up the scoring for us? Who you think is going to be? I like to say who's going to be the party starter, and then or are we going to have a situation where we're going to get scored on first again?
Let me think. Let's go. Chiesa will score the first goal.
Okay.
And we'll win 3-1.
Okay. That's what I had, the same score, 3-1. Okay, all right. And how about the news about Haaland? What are your thoughts on that?
He's dangerous again this season,
He's
lost to Villa.
I don't know if you knew that or not, but he's injured.
I just found out. No, I didn't know that. So is it a major injury or is it?
No, he picked up a knock, it said. They didn't really explain exactly what the injury was, but he picked up. Well, you know what I think it was from is there was a chance for him to score, and he actually did score. He was onside. He scored the goal. However, I forget who it was that put in the cross to him, but the guy that was guy who put in the cross for him was offsides by like a shoulder. So
Reinders, I think.
Okay, so like basically, when he put in that take. All right, Lex Stein. I like Lex Stein. He's making some funny statements. When he put in that cross, Haaland went in and he, like I said, he scored, but he clashed against the goalpost hard. Like his leg hit that really hard. So I think he got up a little gingerly from that, and I think that's probably what the injury is from. Because I do remember that he scored, but it got marked off, and that's how they ended up losing that game. So, while I have you on mic, let's play a little trivia. How about that, people? Let's play a little trivia. Then we'll get back into this last little section here. Let's go to the last little section to answer the question that was asked earlier. And yeah, we'll do it like that. All right. So, you ready for some trivia? You ready for some trivia? Hi,
Not
Laura.
really, bro.
Not really? Oh, no. You can try.
Send me the questions. I'll ask you them.
Nah, yeah, that would be easy. Yeah, that'll definitely be a lot easier. All right, let's do it this way. It could be the chat versus JK, because I already know the answer, so obviously it can't be chat versus us. All right.
Okay. Let the chat go first, bro.
Yeah. When was the last time Liverpool and Crystal Palace met in the League Cup before this tie? When was the last time Liverpool and Crystal Palace met in the Carabao Cup? What year? That's all you have to do. You don't have to tell me the exact date, month, or whatever. You can tell me the month. I'll give you extra points if you tell me the month. But you can tell me what do you think is? I'll give you a hint. It's before the Jurgen Klopp era. Let's see if anyone has a guess for it. All I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna give like a minute of time to think about it, if not less, 30 seconds to think about it, so we can rock through these questions. Any takers? 2010. There you go. Red Armchair supporter. I'm glad to see that we have someone in the chat that's willing to be bold and take on the answer. But that would be incorrect, unfortunately. All right. I don't think JK is going to give us an answer, so I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah. Do I get a bonus point if I get it right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just guessing. 2006.
Wow. You would have got. I that's very close. 2005.
Oh, damn. Okay.
That was very close.
Bunker's got it.
October 2005 was the last time. 2005. All right. Question. Next question is this. Who won the match? Who won that match in 2005? And I'll tell you this. It was in the third round at Selhurst Park.
Palace, no? Then.
Yeah. What was it? You know the score?
Oh, I don't know. 2-1.
Oh, there you go. There you
boom.
go. All right, those are bonus points. Crystal Palace won 2-1 at Selhurst Park in the third round of that tie.
Boom.
All right, I'll ask you this then. Liverpool have won how many of their last 8 Anfield meetings with Palace? Out of the last 8 times we have faced Crystal Palace, how many times?
Is this for me? Or
this is for this you and the chat. Just go along with it.
Let's go 6.
6 out of 8 times. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
6 out of 8 times. All right. So the chat want to take a guess. How many times have Liverpool won against Palace at Anfield in the last 8 matches? How many times have they won? 4, 6, and 4. Well, if you've gotten in the middle, Bonkers is correct. 5. Bonkers is correct.
5. Okay.
5 out of 8 times we've beaten them at Anfield. So just a little bit over 500. You definitely got to improve that. When was the only Anfield loss to Palace in that run? When in that run? When was the last loss to Palace in that run?
I ain't got a clue, bro.
Yeah. April 2024. April 2024 is the last time we lost to Crystal Palace. We lost to Crystal Palace. I think it was they were our last game of the season. That was during that, that run that we had, like terrible. You remember what I'm talking about? Like when we won, we had already wrapped up the league, but we ended up like
losing. Yeah.
Losing a lot of games. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool's last defeat at Anfield in normal time in a League Cup fourth round. Or wait, Liverpool's last defeat at Anfield in normal time in a League Cup fourth round was against who? And in what season? You can tell me the score if you can even get that. But what was the last time we lost in the fourth round at Anfield? Not fourth round someplace else. When's the last defeat at Anfield in normal time too? Not in extra time or, now what we do now, which is go to penalty kicks. When was the last time we'd lost in normal time at Anfield? Does anyone know? United, Bonkers is saying. This team, I'll give you a hint. This team is not in the Premier League currently. This team is not in the Premier League currently. I don't know if this next clue will be giving it away too much because there's a couple teams with that on it, and it's a city team. How about that? It's Blank City. Blank City is the name of the team. Big up Eric, by the way. United, Reading, all good guesses. All good guesses. Okay. The answer is 2012-2013 season. We lost 3-1 to Swansea City. Swansea City, what is the answer I was looking for? All right, try to rifle through the rest of these. Don't have too many. I only picked out a top 11. So, Liverpool have won how many of their last 15 matches played on October 29th? So, on the date of October 29th, how many times have we won out of the last 15 times? We've played on October 29th 15 times. Out of those 15 times, how many times have we won? Bonkers is on fire. He is on fire. Bonkers is saying 11. Okay. What's your guess? Put it in the chat. 9 is what Red Armchair Sports saying.
Okay, 10 then.
Go 10, okay? Like the Price is Right, okay? Out of the last 15 matches played on October 29th, we have won 13 out of 15 matches. So October 29th isn't that bad of a day for us. That's winning, by the way, not just draws and losses. That's winning. So that's pretty good. Pretty good record. All right. 2 Liverpool players scored League Cup hat tricks on this same date, October 29th. Can you name the 2 players that scored hat tricks? And I'll give you this clue. They are the 2 times they've scored on October 29th, crazily so, ends up being in back-to-back years. So it was someone scored in one year, and then the preceding year, they scored. Another player scored a hat trick as well. Can you name the 2 players that scored hat tricks? Fowler and Owen is a great shout. That's a great shout. Great shout. One of these names you might get. One of these names you might get, but one of the other names you might not really get unless you are. I'll tell you this. It's during the 80s. How about that? I'll give you that clue. It's during the 80s that we're looking for the answers from. It's during the 80s. I'm not going to tell the exact year because that's the year that you got to tell me. But Okay, Lexstein is trying to flex some muscle. That is one of the players, by the way. Paul Walsh is one of the players. Yep, and McMahon is the other. That is correct. That is correct. That is correct. Bonkers got it as well. Yep. Aldo. Here you go. Does anyone know the years? I'll give you a quick shot out at the years if you want. But you got the two players. I give you credit for getting the two players. That's the answer. 1985 and 1986 were the years. Paul Walsh in 85, Steve in 86. All right. How about this one? Mohamed Salah is sitting on how many total Liverpool goals going into this tie? How many goals is Mohamed Salah sitting on for Liverpool going into this match? How many goals is Mohamed Salah sitting on? Which is possibly a reason why he might ask to play or want to play. But how many goals are they sitting on? Is Mohamed Salah sitting on right now, currently? How many goals? They talked about this a lot in the last game, so you probably would know. Probably would know where he's at least. Let's see. All right. 249 is what he's on. He's only one goal short of 250 goals is what we're looking at. One goal short of 250 goals.
Mm-hmm.
One goal short. How many goals has – I'll save this one for last, actually. How out of Liverpool's 15 League Cup penalty shootouts, how many have they won? So we've had 15 League Cup penalty shootouts. How many times have we won?
7.
7. Lucky 7. If you'd gone 7-11, it is 11. 11 games we've won in League Cup penalty shootouts. Crystal Palace could achieve a small piece of club history tomorrow. What is the feat that they're trying? What is the big feat that they're trying to accomplish tomorrow?
3 wins in a row against us, maybe.
That's very close. Going 4 games unbeaten against Liverpool in all competitions would be the first time they've ever done that in their history. First time they've ever done it. All right, I can't let that happen. Absolutely. Last question. How many goals has Cody Gakpo, or Cody Gakpo, depending on how you pronounce it, scored in his 12 Carabao Cup appearances for Liverpool? This question is for my Coppish brother Cal, and for some of the Never Foul crew, because apparently they got to be reminded. They got to be reminded about this guy. How many goals?
13.
13 is a good shout. How many goals does he have? I'm going to see if anyone gave a shout. Bonker says 14. Red Armchair supporter says 7. The answer would be 9. 9 times. 9 times. Three in a row. It would be actually 4 if they beat us tomorrow in the Carabao Cup, because that would be, they won last year at the last game of the last season. They won the Community Shield, and then obviously they beat us at Selhurst Park. That's 3 times, and then this fourth time will be at Anfield if they were to beat us. It will be their 4th time having victory on their slate. So I'm hoping that's not the case. 9 times. 9 times, though. I want to make sure that people hear when I say that. 9 times. I mentioned earlier about some of the things I saw or some of the things I had to deal with in the chat. It's very interesting. Not many. I get it becomes a lot more difficult when you have larger chats, where you have a couple hundred people in the chat or something like that. It can be sometimes difficult to really pay attention, I guess you could say, to a lot of the things that are said in the chat. I know that sometimes it can be even a tactic that sometimes some content creators use when on their shows, to not even look at the chat. Because sometimes there's trolls and there's difficult things that you have to deal with, and it might trigger you or it might get you off topic. And also, to be honest, sometimes there's a format, at least with StreamYard, when you do go maybe full screen with your presentation, or with your presentation for yourself, or the actual chat goes away and it just becomes the entire screen of what you see, as opposed to seeing the chat. So you don't even get to see what the chat is saying sometimes. So I'll give you a little bit of a slide, for that, because that could be the case. However, there are some times that I know, and there are certainly some people that are content creators that I know that keep a mindful eye on the chat. And I do my best to try to engage with the chat myself. I bringing up this because yesterday I did want to call out some of the slanderous talk that I've heard about Cody Gakpo, depending on how you pronounce it, because like the G in Dutch is pronounced as an H as opposed to a G. But if you're going to say it, I guess, with an English perspective of saying the name, it would be Gakpo. With that said, there's a lot of slander being dropped on. I don't understand why. There's like a lot of like disdainment, a lot of this foul tasting takes that are being dropped on Cody. It's interesting to me, JK, because so often I hear these eye test merchants or whatever, the eye test group of people out there that don't like to hear stats. They go, let's not talk about stats. Let's just talk about the eye test, right? But then when they talk about the eye test, the final definition of what they come down to is the final product. Is he able to finish? Is he able to get goals? And they also talk about goals being currency, And what's unique about that is you can say what you want about Cody's ability to emulate maybe Mane or the way that Lucho could dribble or take on opponents. But you can't dismiss the fact that Cody is a very tall presence in the box. He is someone that can be strong when he wants to be. Has, I know, an attribute that some people don't really like, or don't like that he uses it, that is one of his main go-tos, But I mean, I know, but you remember Robben, right? For the Dutch player, Bayern Munich fame, right, JK?
What was his name?
Robben.
Yeah, Robin. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And
he was world class. Mm-hmm.
But when he came to his game, the majority of his game was cut in and score.
Yeah.
he wasn't like some wizard on with the dribbling. He wasn't some like, like step over merchant or something like that. When it came to his game, what's that?
Like he was pretty nippy, and you didn't know about which way he was going to go. Yeah. I think he was a good dribbler, bro. My opinion, like
okay,
his movement was maybe harder to defend than say Cody Gakpo's. Like you didn't know which way Robin was going to go. He was a proper like winger for me. Top player, man. Problem with Cody Gakpo and Salah is they're not doing team play. They're too individualistic and thinking about their game, how they're going to cut in, Are they going to shoot when they cut in? More likely they are. Cody's tried to get crosses in more now. I've seen it. He's trying to stop the ball. And some of the crosses have been pretty good, I know Lante weren't really happy with his. Was it Lante? Brian. He was saying like, I can't see another Cody Gakpo ball put in from Cody Gakpo, because of the way it is. And what it is with your crossing
corner kicks or
no, when you got like the ball in play, and instead of Cody Gakpo cutting in and shooting, he's sort of cutting in and floating it or crossing it in back post. And what it is when you're playing on the left and you're a right-footed guy, that's the only way you can cross the ball, really. But if you're a right-footed guy on the right, there's a lot of variations you can pull out with your right foot for crossing a ball, bro.
It's interesting.
It'll be hard to score, of course, but your wing play and your assist play comes more into the game. And for me, I'm not a big fan of this inverted thing. I know Salah's made it into a big thing and he's the best at it, but it's just weird for me. I want my wingers to be right-footed, playing on the right, getting the ball, beating their man and swinging it into the box. Instead of getting the ball, coming back, getting onto your favourite foot and crossing the ball in. Goalkeeper knows what's coming, Yeah, so I think Gakpo and Salah would improve if they do a bit more teamwork, team play.
Okay. And I can agree with the fact I'd like to see better team recognition, maybe, or more a better link up between him and his left back. I will agree with that part.
Big time.
But do you realize that when you look at his numbers, at least, okay, he is easily in the 85 to 95 percentile for left wingers in the Premier League this year.
He's been doing all right this year, bro. Like for me,
for numbers,
before his injury, he was on that ladder going great. He was just like, oh, wow. Even I was astonished how good he is, and that injury messed him up big time because from the Euros going into last season, he was great, bro. He's slowly looking better. He is looking better. I can see it every game. He just looks a bit sharper, a bit more back with it. But I just feel he can do more, Gakpo. The players need to know that there's a team around them. Everyone wants to score. Everyone wants to score. That's the problem right now. You got Ekatike, Isak, Salah, and Gakpo. All four of them guys, goals is their business. So it's going to be pretty hard to get team play if you've got all of them on the pitch.
No, I agree with that. I just think it's interesting because there's only been so far this year. There's only been two left wingers that have better numbers than Cody Gakpo. Statistically wise, there's only two left wingers, and I'd say those two left wingers have been definitely players you could see why, or you say, yeah, Semenyo has been possibly one of the revelations of this season so far. So, okay, Semenyo. The other left winger that has incredible numbers this year is Jack Grealish, who's become a revelation for Everton this year.
Last few games not on it. I've seen like he
Jack
started
Grealish?
off real great. Jack Grealish getting assist. Last few games not really at it, but he's made a difference for Everton.
He's been an incredible. I think he's been an incredible difference maker for them.
Yeah, he's uplifted the team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They lost their first game there the other day in the new stadium. First loss there, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just been. But if you look at some of the statistics for Cody, it's like he's in the 85 to 95 percentile for like for XG for when it comes to left wingers on actual like conversion rates when it comes to left wingers. He's one of the top players in the league, and I just don't understand. Like I've been told that goals are currency. Goals are currency. Goals are currency. And he's been scoring. He's been one of our most consistent scorers as of late. He's been one of our most consistent scorers. And if you look at it, you want to know the top five left wingers currently, if you're going to go by stats wise, would be Minta for Brighton at 5, Kudus at number 4, Cody at number 3, and like I said, Grealish and Semenyo at number 2 and number 1. I don't understand why some people are like so critical or being so harshly. And I mean, like, it's one thing to be constructive with your criticism. I'm not saying that there aren't aspects of Cody's game that he can improve. I'm not saying that there's things, just like you mentioned earlier, that like I would like to see his relationship with the front line, if not the relationship with his left back improve as well, But we've got Cody on corners this year. He's actually been decent at corners.
His corners were good. I watched. Yeah, pretty good corners, bro.
Yeah, he's been decent with his delivery for corners for us. I personally would prefer to see Cody in the box, considering he's a tall player, and he certainly is going to be another player that you'd have to figure out who you're gonna try to properly put on him. He's obviously a forward, so he should be a scorer from with his using his head. But that's why I do preferably prefer to see Szoboszlai taking our corners, Maka taking our corners, players that you're probably not going to necessarily want to see in the box having to scrap to get headers, or even like Robbo again taking corners for us. I don't want to see Kirkes taking corners, but Robbo and the likes of those players taking corners for us. It was just interesting, though. It was very interesting to see the take that I saw yesterday, and they were being very harsh on him, very, very harsh, as if he doesn't have the quality to be a starter, much less a player for the Liverpool team. I think that's very, very like agenda driven, if anything, when it comes when someone says that.
Yeah, but that's the same. Like, imagine we got rid of Gapco in the summer to Bayern for crazy money. It's like Elliot moved, Kwanzaa moved. Like, I'll take Elliot and Kwanzaa in this squad right now.
We might see Elliot again. We just
I'll
might
bring
see
him back because we're lacking someone to come on the pitch who's forward thinking and very. He knows what he's doing, Elliot. He's not the world's best, don't get me wrong, but he loves Liverpool. And when we lose, it hurts him as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
You need them type of players on the pitch sometimes, Like, people are like, get rid of him. That's what you get now for getting rid of everyone. I know we had to balance the books because of the incomes we had, of course. But the way we got rid of a lot of players, fringe players, most of them, but important sort of fringe players who did their piece sometimes, Elliot got us a winner at PSG, for example. He scored 3 goals in Champions Leagues, 3 goals after each other in 3 games straight. Bang, Elliot. And that's what you need in the squad. Players like that, bro. And I didn't like the way we just got rid of a lot of players. Kwanzaa could have done a job. Right now, I'm playing Kwanzaa tomorrow. No questions asked. Him and Gomez, job done.
Yeah, a good shout. It's a very good shout.
And I know, but Brian was saying the fees we got from were like 70-odd million. Top money, yeah. But when you need players, bro, that money don't mean nothing. When you're playing Endo at centre-back, that Kwanzaa's looking pretty good there now, isn't he? You know what I mean? So, yeah.
No, Tyler Morton is missed. Could be a player that could be utilized tomorrow. Elliott, for those asking, Red Armchair supporters asking, is Elliott getting game time at Villa? Fortunately, no. He
180 odd minutes.
Yeah, he just got the worst thing about it is he got left out of. He didn't even make the bench against City. So I did see an article saying about how that could be a very big sign as to we might be getting Elliott back. Doesn't necessarily mean that we have plans on keeping him, but it definitely means that it could be Elliott returning to Liverpool because the obligation for him is he has to play 10 matches. Now, I'm not certain if it means that if it's connected to him starting 10 matches or if it's just 10 appearances. But he does have to have 10 games in him for Villa to be obligated to make a purchase buy of £35 million on him, if that's the case. But for right now, he is not being utilized. I know the Emery did say that he is he is a top player. He comes out, he works hard. He's a good guy. I don't know. I don't want to hear my coach say I'm a good guy, but that's like a girl saying you're calling you
great, but I don't want to be with you no more.
Yeah, exactly. Being like, you're a nice guy. I'm like, what?
But for me, Elliott won't really get a chance at Villa. Like the other day, like their manager don't mess about, bro. He bought on Sancho and then took him back off.
Yeah,
he don't mess about, bro. And so for me, Elliott is not really. Would he get a chance? Maybe. I think Buendia got injured, so you might get a chance now.
It was an ugly situation, by the way. Sancho being called. The way that he reacted, I understand he's not going to be happy, by getting taken off the pitch. But the way he reacted, he didn't slap
acknowledge.
Yeah, he didn't give a high five to his teammate coming on the pitch. When he got off the pitch, he ignored Emery, who reached out to try to give him, a shake. And he ignored his hand, and then Emery had to go above and or around the fourth official to go and actually address him to his face as to why he had to go and make that substitution. And Sancho wasn't having any parts of it. Sancho's got a lot of I understand Sancho as a player. I understand that there's been a player there. I just think that Sancho is a player that unfortunately has had a lot of entitlement placed into his orbit, and now going to Manchester United wasn't necessarily the most the best move for his career, obviously, but also with his maturity and development, I think it was a step backwards in those regards because. You're not going to have any bit of humbling. You have a player that, obviously thinks that he is still that 300,000 pound a week player when he easily can say elsewise for him. And it's very unique when you see some of the things, see some of the reactions that he has in reacting the way he did against Emery, who is a world-class coach, by the way, and is someone that if he's doing something for a reason, So I'm gonna let. Do you have any before I get into this last segment, which is kind of like a little op-ed piece I put together, that kind of answers Lex Stein's question about I'll ask you this question. Do you have an answer to Lex Stein's question about? I'll bring it up. I have it start.
Bless up KJ in the chat as well.
Shout out to KJ, and also shout out to those that have subscribed to KJ's channel. And if you haven't, go recognize and show him some love by doing so.
Well, for me, it's the Premier League. I will go with.
Okay.
Just to get 21. Group stage of the Champions League games, you can lose and still qualify. You know what I mean? We finished top last season, but look what happened. So it don't really matter. We got a bit of breathing space there. We've won 2 out of 3. But I would say Premier League.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess it's interesting. I mean, I support whoever is our manager. I'm not rooting against Slot doing poorly. By the way, this was the Lexstein's take was controversial take. If you support Cody at left wing, you should support Slot. He loves that player. I think that's trying to be tongue in cheek with that take, but I do support Cody. I support whoever's in our left wing. If it's Cody, if it's Rio, I care less. If it's Chiesa, I'm going to support that player. And to answer your question, my answer to this question would be, what's more important? Cup games, group stage, Champions League games, or the Premier League? And I would say whatever is the next game in front of you. I would say that's like you hear captains say that quite often after matches. You hear them say, well, you've got Champions League in 2 weeks. What are your thoughts about the Champions League? And they say, well, that's an important game, but we're focused on the game in front of us. We have so-and-so next week, and that's the game that we're concentrating on. I think that is truly the best mentality to hold, because we play to win them all. My final take, or if you want to call it my last breath here, is I believe Liverpool must never surrender the pursuit of any trophy. I heard a fellow supporter say recently, half laughing but half serious. He wasn't laughing, first off, and I guess he was saying he was laughing. He wasn't laughing. But I heard a fellow supporter say recently that Liverpool should just give up on the League Cup. We should bin the tournament. He went as far as to say we've won enough of them. That it's the least relevant of the 4 competitions we're in. Now, he later backtracked, claiming it was a joke. He tried to put it into better context for us because, like I said, it's sometimes difficult to understand the context, the Irish humor sometimes, or the UK humor, or not UK humor, excuse me, Irish humor. But he ended up saying we're too thin, that we're too undermanned, that maybe we should focus on the Premier League. Not maybe, that we definitely should focus on the Premier League first, Champions League as well. I didn't hear the humor in his tone. The tone I heard was resignation. And he's not alone. That's something I'll never accept from anyone that we see wearing the kit on that pitch. And hearing it from our fan base is sometimes deflating in itself. And I've heard that not only from this individual, I've heard it from others in our fan base as well. Now, winning is not optional to me. I think it's who we are. This club was built on convenience. This club was not built on convenience, or cherry-picking trophies that seem more fashionable than others. LFC was built on compulsion, the compulsion to compete, to fight, to win. When you start deciding which competitions are quote unquote beneath you, you already lose sight of what makes this badge powerful in the first place. You can ask Shankly, Paisley, ask Kenny. None of them ever said, you know what? Let's rest this one out. They understood something that still echoes around Anfield on cold cup nights. Winning, any winning, breeds belief. It reignites momentum. It restores pride. It re-anchors the mentality that has carried this club through every storm we've had to face. And I know that there are some out there that will talk about the value of silverware, especially when the sky feels heavy. I'm not particularly looking at some of the Chicken Little fans that we have, not in the chat at all, but Chicken Little fans that we have in our fan base. But I understand when the sky feels heavy, the value of silverware starts to be questioned even more so. And right now, Liverpool are flailing. Our form is dipped. Confidence is fractured. Frustration is thick in the air. And we have some concerns at some of the choices that we have in some positions. But that's exactly when a domestic cup run really matters the most. You don't dismiss it. You embrace it. Because the right cup run, the right cup at the right time can change everything. Look back at 2001 under Gerrard. That treble of cups rebuilt the culture that Rafa later elevated into a Champions League triumph. Even Jurgen Klopp's first major silverware came from domestic knockouts that reignited a winning rhythm. So yes, the League Cup may not carry the glamour of a European night of Champions League, but in moments like this, it might be the most valuable trophy of all because it reminds players what it feels like to win again. It reminds players that there's something on the line. It reminds players that if you don't come out and play your best, you're going home. And that really should be significant for all of us. Because I really think this myth of prioritization is just weird. Supporters love to talk about priorities as though football was a spreadsheet. But this club doesn't run on Excel. It runs on emotion. And emotion doesn't pick and choose its battlegrounds. When you start rationalizing ambition, start saying things like, let's skip this trophy for the sake of that one, you dilute the culture. Players hear it. Staff feels it. Supporters start believing in it. You think Shankly would have tossed away a domestic cup to focus on the league? Not a chance. He's trying to win everything. He said it himself. If you are first, you are first. If you are second, you are nothing. That wasn't arrogance. That was a standard that was set for this club. And winning as restoration is what I have in focus right now. Right now, Liverpool don't need selective ambition. They need collective belief. They need to fire up some type of confidence in this team. And nothing rebuilds faster than lifting silverware, even if it's the so-called smallest or most the most irrelevant of them all. A run in this League Cup could give younger players experience that could be beneficial for us later on down in the season. It can bring seniors confidence, some of which are bordering on empty right now. And it could possibly bring some hope to fans, albeit some being the Chicken Littles out there, but it at least brings some hope to fans that have lost their way in believing in this club. It's not about the size of the trophy. It's about the size of what it represents. That the Liverpool standard still stands. because every cup is a reminder that our club plays for history, not hierarchy. We don't turn our noses up to any competition that ends with red ribbons on a silver handle. So to anyone saying we should just give up on the League Cup, I don't believe we should be doing that here. We play to win them all because that's the Liverpool way. And that's the way this club knows how to climb back to where it belongs. A lot of football success is in the mind. You must believe you are the best and make sure that you are. Bill Shankly said that, and that's something I truly do believe, that these players have to reignite as being a mantra for them to carry forward. So that was my last word. Again, JK, big up for helping me out today. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we bounce out?
No. Enjoy the game tomorrow, people.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Big up to Edward, by the way. I just saw that you're in the chat. Shout out again, like I said, if you can go to KJSJ7's page, if you can.
I'll put the link in the chat for KJ.
In the channel real quick. That'd be cool. Oh yeah, you already did. This is it, right?
Yeah, I did it.
This is what it was. If you can, go check that out. Big up to Tyler D, Red Armchair supporter. Hi, Lord, that was up in here earlier. Lex Time, good to see you. Bonkers, of course. Possibly the undisputed champion this round of trivia.
Quizmaster.
Yeah, the Quizmaster. Big up to Eric. Trudon for chiming in. John Conway was here. Sheba, big up to you. Hopefully I got everyone. Nems, who was here from the gate, by the way. Hi, Laura, of course. And also Lee. I hope that you, Lee WizKid, big up to you. I hope that you're feeling better. Yeah. I know he's going through a little bit of the sniffles, he said, or a little bit of the winter cold, or autumn cold. Man. Yeah, I hope that you bounce back, and I hope that our Liverpool Reds can bounce back tomorrow. Big game tomorrow. Despite what some people might think, it is a big game. Many opportunities for a lot of different players for different reasons, and I hope they make the most of it. I hope that they show us what it means to be a Liverpool Red and make us proud. I hope that you're there to support them. And if anything, my friends and family out there, as always and truly, up the Reds each and every time. Shout out to all of you that join me tomorrow. We will have a reactionary, instant or viral reaction to the game after the game. But until then, peace and blessings to you all.
Bless, man. Bless, okay,